Hey everybody, this is Bruce, and today what we're going to do is something pretty simple. We're going to start with some basics, and what we're going to do is change the power supply out on a tower computer. It's pretty simple. A few little tricks that we need to keep in mind, some things that we have to keep our eye on, but it's a good first little project for you if you want to learn how to work on computers, or if you have a computer that's not working and you want to see if you can fix it yourself. This is a good one to give it a try on. If you do your research and be careful, there's a good chance that you can fix your computer. And so we're going to tackle this power supply and show you how to change one out. Doesn't take very long, and walk you through the steps. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, so here's our computer. And on the front of it, obviously, here's the start button. And the key to troubleshooting this is this little light right here. You can barely see it. And you might say, well, how can I troubleshoot and make sure that it works? So what we're going to look for here is this light should come on and our fans should come on when we press the start button. And so that's what we're going to look for. So we press the start button. And if you noticed, you saw the fans turn just a little bit, the lights comes on, but nothing is turning as far as the fans are concerned. As you can see, the fans are not turning. So we do have our nice, cute little light right there. See, that's great, but that's all we've got. And so that's a good indication that the power supply is not working. All right, so this is the back of the computer. Here's the power cord coming in. Here's the on-off switch right here behind the power cord. There we go. And here's the fan, main fan for the power supply. And here's the 4 screws that we need to take off. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here, right behind the power cord. So we have to take these 4 Phillips screws off. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we've got this thing unplugged and safe so that we can work on it. The last thing that you want to do is be dead because you're working on an energized computer and you got electrocuted, and the people are standing around at your funeral and they say, you know what? He died because he was an idiot. The reason that she's dead now is because she forgot to unplug the computer, and everybody's going to shake their heads and go, what a moron. You don't want to be that person. So we're going to unplug the power cord. See, it's not enough just to turn this switch off. You've got to unplug this power cord as well so that nothing is plugged into the back of the computer at all. That's how you make a computer safe so that you can work on it. Okay, so I'm going to go kind of handheld here because I want to show you a few things. Number one, you want to be careful and notice what is connected and what is not connected before you get started. Here's a good example. Here's a connector right here that is not connected. Now, if you didn't notice this and you went to put things back together again and you'd wonder, oh gosh, where does this go to? Doesn't go anywhere, okay? So let's get a little bit of light shed on here. Now, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this guy right here. That's one. We're going to disconnect number 2. This is the DVD player. We're going to come down here to the hard drive, and we're going to disconnect this one. There we go. And then we're going to disconnect the main connector here. And so this is the main, and there's a catch right here. You push in right here, and that's what releases this. So these are the 4 things that we're going to disconnect. And once we do that, then we can undo the power supply. And all you do is you just wiggle these things, come out. This is a Molex, what they call a Molex, named after Sir Henry Molex. I'm just kidding. I have no idea who that's named after. And then we come down here. Let's see if we can. I'm just going to pull this off. Boop, there we go. There's the SATA connector. And then here's this big guy right here. And so what I'm going to do, you see this connector right here, this catch. What you do is you just squeeze that. Let's see if I can get around here. Press this. I can't get a good shot of it. Anyway, there it is. I'm going to press that. And off it comes. See, so that's the connector right there. And it goes in this big guy right here. So, as of right now, we have everything disconnected from this power supply. Now we can go ahead and remove it. Okay, so what we want to take a look at is taking off these 4 screws right here. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. But see, the key to this, one of the keys to this is the size of screwdriver that you use. Now, if you notice, this one is kind of a small one here. This is a number 1. This is a number 2. Notice that there are different sizes. There's a reason for that. Some screws are designed for a small screwdriver, and it goes all the way down to a 0, goes all the way up to, I think, a 4. But if you try to take this screw off, notice how that moves just a little bit. That little bit of slop there is going to cause a problem if this screw is really in here tight. And so we're going to use the correct size screwdriver, which is the number 2. And when it goes in there, it doesn't move, okay? And this is the correct size. All right, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to take these out. Now, there's nothing more complicated than just unscrewing them, setting them aside. I'm going to put it up here in this box because I don't like to lose them. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to take all 4 of these. Whoops, see, there we go. It fell into the carpet, but I've got it. And so we're just going to continue to take these out. There we go. All right, now that this is out, what we're going to do is we're just going to remove the power supply. It just slides out. We rotate it a little bit, and we carefully lift it out. And here's your power supply. And so this thing, it's bad, we hate it, and we're going to get rid of it. And that's all there is to it. Now here is the power supply that I'm replacing that other one with. And once again, I don't know if you can actually read this or not, but right here, it shows the maximum power output is 450 watts. That's 150 watts more than the one that was in it. And so, once again, you have to take all of these different parameters that we talked about into effect. And what I did was I said, I need something in here like right now. I could go to Best Buy, pick one up. I didn't have to wait a couple of days getting it from Newegg or Tiger Direct or Amazon or whatever. So I got one. The great thing about these is that they are all standard size. Everything fits the same. And so all we're going to do is, you'll notice, it goes in here, the holes line up, and this thing will bolt right in. And that's what we're going to do. So I'll take one screw just to put it in to get it started. And then we'll put the rest of the screws on and we'll go from there. One of the things you want to be careful of when you're putting the screws in here is don't tighten them up until you get all of them started. You can tighten up one, and if it's a little bit off center, then it won't let the other screws go in because they don't line up. So once I've got all of them in and threaded a few threads, then I can snug them up. And you don't want to over tighten them. You'll feel it bottom out, and then just give it another little tweak, and that's it. You're not going to go race the Baja 1000 with this computer, so things don't have to be really tightened down, and you can over tighten things. So now that it's in, let's flip it over and hook everything up. Okay, so we're back. And if you remember, let me get a little pointer screwdriver. This was a connector that we had to put on. Up here, right here is a connector that we have to put on. Down here, the hard drive we have to put on. And of course, we have the mother of all connectors right here that we have to put on. So we had 4 to take off, we have 4 to put on. And so we have to be careful, obviously. This one down here is 4 conductor. A lot of this is really just common sense. You'll notice this, 6 conductor. Oh, that's not it. There's 2, that's not it. 6. So nothing on this part of the harness we need. So let's use this one here. That's a 4 conductor. This one here, oh, 4 conductor, what do you know? So we just bring it down here, and it's hard to see, but you just push it in until it clicks. You'll feel that little tab click on there. Let's see. Yeah, see, this is the, let me hold this against something shiny here so you can see it. There we go. And so you can see that little clip there, and that just clips over the side of it. And so that's how, you know, all this stuff kind of goes together. So we've got that put together. So we don't need this one here. We're going to put this off to the side. Then this is the serial ATA connector. And so you can see, you know, exactly how it's, you know, configured. And so what we're going to do, oh, by the way, you'll notice, where's my other little small screwdriver? You'll notice, and I bumped my tripod. Okay. You'll notice that this guy right here, it's got a little notch right here. Let me see if I can get it focused. Probably can't focus that close. Wow. There we go. You'll notice there's a little notch right here. See how this slot goes all the way over and then it comes up and there's a little notch? You have to watch for that when plugging in the serial ATA connection, the power connection. And it just so happens that it goes together like so. There we go. Let me see if I can kind of get a right there. There's the serial ATA connector right there, the power connector. This is data, this is power. Okay, so let me get back in front of the camera again. All right, so now we have to hook up the old style power supply connector. And so that's what we're looking for here with one of these. This is the old style Molex connector. And, you know, so this is the one that goes up here. And once again, let me see if I can get a good shot of this. And we just kind of wiggle it until it goes all the way in and it kind of snaps into place. So that's 3. And now this big guy here. Now notice that this thing is split. Instead of being one solid piece, a lot of new motherboards only need this large section here. And that's, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's 20 connectors here and then another 4. Some only need 20, but in this case we need 24. Now remember, the latch goes over here on this side. So this whole thing, we're going to move all these cables aside. And there's the latch right there. So it's going to go, let's see if I can get a shot of it. Maybe. Trying to get a decent shot of it. There you go. And you just, if you were listening, you heard a little snap, and then we're putting the last 4, pushing those in, so that now it's all in there. So you may think, oh good, we're done. Au contraire. We have to clean this mess up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use tie wraps. Because remember, we have fans bringing air in and moving air around, and we don't want these cables to get in the way of this airflow. So we're going to use some zip ties, and we're going to tie them all together to get them out of the way so that the air can flow around here and keep things cool. Because this is our CPU right here. It's got a little fan. And then here's the fan, you know, for the power supply. And then we've got fans back here that bring air in to the chassis. So we have to get all of this stuff working together. And so we got to clean all this stuff up. There's no one right way or wrong way to clean all this up. The main thing is get it out of the way, keep it so it doesn't rub on the fans. You know, you don't want fan hitting the wires and things like this. And that's the main thing, is just get them out of the way. And so that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so we've got the wires all put in. I'm kind of getting in the shadow of my light here, but anyway, you can see everything is all hooked up. So let's see what it looks like. Remember, this light right here, we wanted to go green and we had no fans. So let's find out what happens. Oh, there we go. Fans are humming. We love it. Let's see what's going to show up on the Mighty Wurlitzer. Turn this light off. Oh, check it out. Press F1. There we go. And there we go. Windows XP. Cutting edge. Okay, well, there you have it. That's all there is to changing out a power supply on a PC. I hope you got a lot out of it. A couple of things real quick just to recap. Number one, never, ever, ever, never work on a computer while it's still plugged into power. Or actually anything for that matter. It's just not worth it. You could get shocked, you could get killed. It's not worth it. Number two, make sure that you notice what things are plugged in to the power supply harness before you start unplugging everything. You could either make a little sketch, you could just put a piece of tape. There's a lot of different things to just notice what is plugged in. So when you go to put it all back together and plug it in, you know what to plug in where. And that's really about it. Once again, I hope you got a lot out of it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I'm going to be putting out more of them here in the future. And any comments in the bottom as well, both good and bad. I know that since this is like the second or third one, fourth one maybe, I'm still trying to get better at this. So leave your comments in the bottom and hope to have you come back soon. Bye-bye now.